I'm joined by DEA Secretary Ajay Seth and DFS Secretary M. Nagaraju. Welcome to NDTV Profit, sir. I'd like to start with you, Mr. Seth. On the fiscal consolidation part, we have seen that for next fiscal year, the target being set 4.4%. But somewhere the government is taking a glide path towards, debt to GDP ratio. Now, how that will help to achieve that roadmap, sir?
First of all, next year target 4.4%, which was announced by the finance minister in the year 2021 itself, and fiscal deficit had to be taken to a very high level of 9% plus in order to manage the COVID-related position. And she promised a path to come to less than 4.5%, and track record of the government in all these 4 years is whatever was promised, whatever was committed, do better than that. Now, moving forward, as we are aware that all of a sudden, having gone to a high debt level, it will take time to come back to a more prudent, or meaning that a level wherein there are more buffers in the available for the next crisis if that were to happen. What is being announced, or what was announced in the last budget and the roadmap being given in the FRBM statement now, today, is to target debt to GDP ratio in a declining path so as to reach by 3031, which is the last year of the 16th Finance Commission, to reach to a level of 50 plus minus 1%. Why one is moving from a fiscal deficit number to a debt to GDP number is that debt to GDP anchor gives more flexibility, but yet it is more transparent in terms of having consolidation at the same time meeting the needs of the economy. If economy is doing well, moderation or the consolidation can be at a higher level. If economy needs more fiscal support, moderation can be mild or it can be moderate. That is what the FRBM statement, which practically brings out 9 scenarios. 3 overall nominal growth scenarios and 3 consolidation scenario. Possible options are there. So that is a much more, I will call it as a more flexible yet transparent way of dealing with debt to GDP.
And with the measures which have been announced today, sir, how confident are you to sort of achieve 7% growth, though the target has been kept, cautiously optimistic, but how confident are you that these measures would help to achieve, GDP growth in the range, and that would reach somewhere 7%?
See, what the economic survey does an assessment that next fiscal year, growth to be in the band of 6.3 to 6.8.
Yes.
And this budget has a number of measures to influence or guide the domestic factors so that the growth rate is at the upper band of, or the upper limit of that band. That's what the attempts are. But yes, a headwind of the global scenario is always something which we need to counter, and the budget tries that we should enhance our own domestic capabilities to do so. And the measure for a significant, very, very significant relief for the middle class is also a step towards that. That is the need of the economy as well as their expectations.
I will come to that global scenario, but Mr. Nagaraju, I would like to ask that credit guarantee, have been raised for MSMEs and startups. Could you elaborate a bit on that, how this will help, both the sectors?
See, the credit guarantee, ever since we launched, we have actually provided more than 10 lakh crore worth of credit guarantees to a large number of companies in the country. This provides two things. One, of course, it gives the confidence to the MSME that in case of any failure, there is a backstop. And also it gives a comfort to the banks that the government will restore the lending in case there are some other factors responsible for the failure of the firms. Now, we have the Honorable Finance Minister has increased the credit guarantee for several sectors, including it was announced that a fund of funds with 10,000 crores will be created to support startups. Of course, there is a separate fund kept for the MSME also, but the startups also 10,000 crores was kept. We believe that this will, by leveraging with the bank finance, but 2 times or 3 times, it will be anywhere between little more than 30,000 crores will be available to fund startups in the country, which is a great boost to the startup ecosystem in the country.
As you mentioned, sir, Mr. Seth, you know, a lot of emphasis on the gig workers, on the social schemes there. You think now government is, you know, trying to and be cognizant of the fact that, you know, there are informal sector which is adding a lot in the GDP growth?
Certainly, and that was Finance Minister's speech very clearly recognizes the kind of a dynamism to the services sector which the gig workers or gig platform workers are bringing in. So it is sort of a recognition of their contribution. At the same time, the business models which the online platform have employed, wherein the employee and employer relationship is not very clearly established, meaning there is a need for government to support them in whatever manner government can. So the announcement, which is in the nature of that their health care will be covered under Ayushman Bharat scheme, plus recognition of their efforts in terms of an iCard and will flow from there.
Correct.
Plus yet another one, whereas for the urban workers, a scheme which is yet to be formulated was also announced, which is broader than the gig workers, but again is similarly placed workers are in urban areas which do not really have a good social cover, social security cover, I'll put it.
True. On the insurance bill, one of the key announcements that now the foreign investments up to 100% from earlier 74%. So is two clarity needed, sir. One, is it the part of the bill, insurance bill? And also, what about the other suggestions? Do we see, you know, whatever the recommendation in the part of bill as
This
well?
is, yeah, as Finance Minister has announced, she was, because of the brevity, she mentioned only 2 points. One is the FDI limit increasing up to 100%, and the other is reviewing the insurance rules and then simplifying them. But actually it encompasses the entire proposed bill that we had a consultation with all the stakeholders, which includes a lot of relaxations, single agent for multiple products, and removing the FDI, the repatriation of dividends by the foreign entities, key managerial persons appointment, flexibility to the owners. All those are part of the proposed bill we are likely to introduce in the Parliament.
When could we expect this bill to be introduced in the budget session itself?
We hope so. We hope so.
Okay.
Budget session, yes.
Okay.
Will do.
And the bill will be in the form of draft bill where you could seek suggestion from all these stakeholders?
We already consulted all the stakeholders. It is there. We sought, we got also.
One more clarity needed, sir. I'm assuming that more FDI would come with this particular announcement. So how this will help the insurance sector?
See, the Honorable Prime Minister has a vision to provide insurance for all in the country. Now, we are one of the lowest insured country in terms of both the premium as well as the coverage. And we want to expand that. And for that, we need both the technology as well as the capital to take the insurance products all over the country. So we have great potential. So with the FDI allowing, the companies will be in a position to expand and bring their best practices that, in the world to India, so that the insurance, both in terms of the quality of products and on the bouquet of products available, will be beneficial to the country.
Mr. Seth, you talked about, you know, global scenario. Now, budget measures is somewhere sort of combating the external headwinds. You think so, and how?
See, on a more sustainable or more sustained basis, we have to improve our strength, we have to improve our productivity. India at this point of time needs more investment, but at the same time more productive use of resources. So the budget aims at investing into people. There are several measures, right from a young child to, say, youth. Plus investing into economy, a number of measures that how do we do so. Then investing into innovation in a big manner. And the reforms which have been done, these are all geared towards improving the productivity. And the measures around a high-level committee to look into the regulations, processes, licenses, certifications in the non-financial sector, then a mechanism under the FSDC on the financial sector processes, how they can be improved upon so that the investment path is as smooth as it can be. These are the attempts which needs to be done. Plus, of course, is a continuing effort on a more skilled workforce, more skilled youth. And the July budget has promised it, and this budget tries to take that efforts even one notch higher.
And that's why a reason behind the Committee of Regulatory Reforms, the budget emphasized how that gonna work and, you know, in terms of easing compliance and regulatory related issues.
See, this is something which economic survey brings out very clearly, and about month and a half back when there was a conference of chief secretaries of all the state, even there this issue was extensively discussed. Now, a large number of them are with the state governments, wherein the MSMEs and others that make the things easier for them to do business. A trust-based economic governance. That is what, as a country, we have to move forward. It is not about one particular government. It is all that the entire country. We have to move towards a much more trust-based economic governance. So here, committee is yet to be formed, but my expectation would be that it will consult various stakeholders in the industry, in the general public, and also, of course, the various agencies in the states as well as in the union, which are responsible for those regulations. But what the idea is that, as was again observed, that some of these compliances are anchored to laws which were passed a couple of decades back. The economy has moved on, technology has moved on, world has moved on. We have to keep on reviewing ourselves, our performance, to make it much more efficient. That is really the idea.
When could we expect the committee to be formed, sir?
The announcement has been done today, but it will be sooner.
Quickly on the line on the bilateral investment treaty and making it more, you know, investment friendly. What was the trigger point to come up with this idea? Where is the issue lies, sir?
So I'll try to give you quickly the context in which the 2014 treaty, rather model BIT was brought in. At that point of time, in that 7-8 years prior to 2014, India was seeing a very significant number of challenges to the agreements which were signed. Number of disputes were coming in. In response to that, the model BIT was brought in, and the earlier set of existing BITs were terminated because it was felt that these are not, they do not have a fine balance between the state interest and the interest of the investors. Now, the past 10 years' work, huge amount of work which have been done in terms of the consistency of the policy, opening up the different sectors, gives us a confidence to move towards a much more investor-friendly BITs. And in that light, Finance Minister announced it in 2024. Two agreements have already, treaties have already been signed, one with UAE, another with Uzbekistan. Attempt is, based on our own experience, based on the needs of the economy and what the global scenario is, have a much more investor-friendly treaty and thereby attract much more FDI than what we are getting. And incidentally, the FDI numbers, inflow numbers this year are much better than what it was last year.
Okay, indeed. Mr. Nagaraju, on you know, the Banking Amendment Act, and it's been announced a while ago, is it, what is the status of that? Do we see any progress there?
No, one banking laws bill is already in the parliament.
Yes.
Okay, that we are now, our target is to get it, that move forward.
Okay.
So that is the thing.
Okay. What are the changes we could expect in
There are some changes we are proposing. Basically, reporting time, there are some issues that are there in the reporting, uniformity of reporting, and the date. There are some things are there that we are getting it.
How hopeful are you, I mean, in terms of, because the policy review is coming up in, this month itself. Do we see any rate cut? I know the government has no role in that, but what is your expectation?
I think we will wait for the MPC to take a decision.
Mr. Seth, I would like to ask on the asset monetization 2.0 quickly, how this will be different this time from the first phase, and especially from the point of view of railways, which has not done, you know, on the lines of expected expectations.
First of all, is much more ambitious, is much more wider in terms of its reach and scope. And Niti Aayog has done huge amount of work sitting down with different departments, different agencies, that what kind of targets or other numbers are feasible over the next 5 years. And my sense is their work is at a fairly advanced stage, so as to bring it out and start rolling it out. As far as question on railways are concerned, yes, there are learning curves and there are opportunities, and my sense is that Niti Aayog has done an extensive consultation even with the Ministry of Railways. I would also like to mention that even the state governments have a significant opportunities to travel on that path. In the first plan, few state governments, and I can mention Madhya Pradesh, did monetize some of their assets and use that money to plow back into the fresh projects. Now the states, a number of states have their projects or rather the assets which are amenable for that same ones. We will try to encourage them also to use this way of recycling of the capital so that the more money can be plowed back into fresh assets.
Could you also give us clarity, and you mentioned in the press conference also, sir, about the gold sovereign scheme. What is the sense there? Do we see any fresh allotment there?
See, when the scheme was brought in, expectation was that it will encourage those who were investing their money in physical gold, that instead of investing there, they will put into gold bond. As a result, imports to the country will get down, will come down. And government will also get borrowings at some reasonable rates. Both these things have not happened. Because if you look at what kind of a total monies it has attracted, not more than 2 to 3% of the annual import. So meaning that it is not leading to a reduction in the import bill of the country. At the same time, given the gold prices over the past 7-8 years, it is a very high cost borrowings. So this is neither helping the economy nor helping the government. So as a result, for the last 1 year, no fresh issuance of the gold bonds has been done.
So the government is discontinuing that? Decided to discontinue?
See, at the moment we don't see any gain or any rationale to issue fresh bonds, and whether it will be done in future or not, at this point of time I don't see things changing than what the present position is.
Mr. Seth, last question on that. In the July budget also, you have been advocating on the line that FPI should be in line with the FDI, FDI should be in line with FPI. What is the status there? When would see the report on that, sir, that is pending? And also on the crypto part, sir, people have been asking, we've been talking about it. When would DEA will come out with the final consultation paper on that?
Your first question, that notification has been done. Today that path is available. For any FPI which reaches 10% and wants to go up further up, they can adopt the FDI route, come further through the approval route. That route is notification has been done. The second part, as far as crypto is concerned, we have done our homework. There was a committee formed, but in the meantime, there are shift in the position of several jurisdictions, at least a couple of major jurisdictions. They are shift in their policies, and as we are aware, crypto asset is one which does not believe in borders. So here, India alone can't decide its own policy. It has to be a part of a larger consensus. In the midst of that shifting policy stance of few jurisdictions, we are trying to recalibrate so that when we come out with a discussion paper, it helps us in getting a meaningful feedback so as to decide our own policy.
When we would expect that, the paper?
Allow us to be ready before, rather than putting a timeline, but it will be, we expect it to be not too late, meaning that it
will that clarify the government stance that whether we are legalizing crypto or not?
See, first of all, crypto is not illegal at the moment.
There is no clarity there.
No. First of all, there is no lack of clarity either. No law of the country says crypto assets are illegal. The point is, to what extent they should be regulated, who should regulate it, to what extent there should be investor protection, does it help the economy or it creates more risk for the economy? These are the ones to be done. Purpose of discussion paper is to get meaningful feedback from our own countrymen, as well as see that what the international community may also have some of the implications on this.
Definitely, we would expect also some progress there. Thank you, Mr. Nagaraju and Mr. Seth, for taking out time for
Thank
us.
you.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you very much.